For I hold that Oros also lies, or if he lies not, then he dreams, or perchance that voice he heard was thine own. Now if thou art this undying woman, this Ayesha, let proof be made of it to these two men who knew thee in the past. Tear away those wrappings that guard thy loveliness thus jealously. Let thy shape divine, thy beauty incomparable, shine out upon our dazzled sight. Surely thy lover will not forget such charms. Surely he will know thee and bow the knee, saying, 'This is my immortal, and no other woman.' Then, and not till then, I will believe that thou art, even what thou declarest thyself to be, an evil spirit, who bought undying life with murder and used thy demon loveliness to bewitch the souls of men." Now the Hesea on the throne seemed to be much troubled, for she rocked herself to and fro and wrung her white draped hands. "Kallikrates," she said in a voice that sounded like a moan, "is this thy will? For if it be, know that I must obey. Yet I pray thee command it not, for the time is not yet come. The promise unbreakable is not yet fulfilled. I am somewhat changed, Kallikrates, since I kissed thee on the brow and named thee mine, yonder in the caves of Kôr." Leo looked about him desperately till his eyes fell upon the mocking face of Atene, who cried, "Bid her unveil, my lord. I swear to thee I'll not be jealous." At that taunt he took fire. "Aye," he said, "I bid her unveil, that I may learn the best or worst, who otherwise must die of this suspense. Howsoever changed, if she be Ayesha I shall know her, and if she be Ayesha I shall love her." "Bold words, Kallikrates," answered the Hesea, "yet from my very heart I thank thee for them, those sweet words of trust and faithfulness to thou knowest not what. Learn now the truth, for I may keep naught back from thee. When I unveil, it is decreed that thou must make thy choice for the last time on this earth between yonder woman, my rival from the beginning, and that Ayesha to whom thou art sworn. Thou canst reject me if thou wilt, and no ill shall come to thee, but many a blessing, as men reckon them, power and wealth and love. Only then thou must tear my memory from thy heart, for then I leave thee to follow thy fate alone, till at the last the purpose of these deeds and sufferings is made clear. Be warned, no light ordeal lies before thee. Be warned, I can promise thee naught, save such love as woman never gave to man, love that perchance, I know not, must yet remain unsatisfied upon the earth." Then she turned to me and said, "O thou, Holly, thou true friend, thou guardian from of old, thou next to him most beloved by me, to thy clear and innocent spirit perchance wisdom may be given that is denied to us, the little children whom thine arms protect. Counsel thou him, my Holly, with the counsel that is given thee, and I will obey thy words and his, and whatever befalls will bless thee from my soul. Aye, and should he cast me off, then in the land beyond the lands, in the star appointed where all earthly passions fade, together we will dwell eternally in a friendship glorious, thou and I alone. For thou wilt not reject. Thy steel, forged in the furnace of pure truth and power, shall not lose its temper in these small fires of temptation and become a rusted chain to bind thee to another woman's breast, until it canker to her heart and thine." "Ayesha, I thank thee for thy words," I answered simply, "and by them and that promise of thine, I, thy poor friend, for more I never thought to be, am a thousandfold repaid for many sufferings. This I will add, that for my part I know that thou art she whom we have lost, since whatever the lips that speak them, those thoughts and words are Ayesha's and hers alone." Thus I spoke, not knowing what else to say, for I was filled with a great joy, a calm and ineffable satisfaction, which broke thus feebly from my heart. For now I knew that I was dear to Ayesha as I had always been dear to Leo, the closest of friends, from whom she never would be parted. What more could I desire? We fell back, we spoke together, whilst they watched us silently. What we said I do not quite remember, but the end of it was that, as the Hesea had done, Leo bade me judge and choose. Then into my mind there came a clear command from my own conscience, or otherwise who can say? This was the command that I should bid her to unveil and let fate declare its purposes. "Decide," said Leo. "I cannot bear much more. Like that woman, whoever she may be, whatever happens, I will not blame you, Horace." "Good," I answered. "I have decided," and stepping forward I said, "We have taken counsel, Hes, and it is our will, who would learn the truth and be at rest, that thou shouldst unveil before us here and now." "I hear and obey," the priestess answered, in a voice like to that of a dying woman. "Only, I beseech you both, be pitiful to me. Spare me your mockeries. Add not the coals of your hate and scorn to the fires of a soul in hell, for whatever I am, I became it for thy sake, Kallikrates. Yet I also am athirst for knowledge, for though I know all wisdom, although I wield much power, one thing remains to me to learn. What is the worth of the love of man, and if indeed it can live beyond the horrors of the grave?" Then rising slowly, the Hesea walked, or rather tottered, to the unroofed open space in front of the rock chamber, and stood there quite near to the brink of the flaming gulf beneath. "Come hither, Papave, and loose these veils," she cried in a shrill, thin voice. Papave advanced and with a look of awe upon her handsome face began the task. She was not a tall woman, yet as she bent over her I noted that she seemed to tower above her mistress, the Hesea. The outer veils fell, revealing more within. These fell also, and now before us stood the mummy like shape, although it seemed to be of less stature, of that strange being who had met us in the place of bones. So it would seem that our mysterious guide and the high priestess Hes were the same. Look, length by length the wrappings sank from her. Would they never end? How small grew the frame within! She was very short now, unnaturally short for a full grown woman, and oh! I grew sick at heart. The last bandages uncoiled themselves like shavings from a stick. Two wrinkled hands appeared, if hands they could be called. Then the feet. Once I had seen such on the mummies of a princess of Egypt, and even now by some fantastic play of the mind I remembered that on her coffin this princess was named the Beautiful. Everything was gone now, except a shift and a last inner veil about the head. Hes waved back the priestess Papave, who fell half fainting to the ground and lay there covering her eyes with her hand. Then uttering something like a scream, she gripped this veil in her thin talons, tore it away and with a gesture of uttermost despair turned and faced us. Oh! she was, nay, I will not describe her. I knew her at once, for thus had I seen her last before the fire of life, and strangely enough, through the mask of unutterable age, through that cloak of humanity's last decay, still shone some resemblance to the glorious and superhuman Ayesha, the shape of the face, the air of defiant pride that for an instant bore her up, I know not what. Yes, there she stood, and the fierce light of the heartless fires beat upon her, revealing every shame. There was a dreadful silence. I saw Leo's lips